All right, ladies and gentlemen, would you look at this? The new inverter, mppt, charge controller, everything all in one, I guess is what you call these things now. It is running the entire house. I made some like modified ends for the cables to come in. Quite kind of like the weakest link of this whole thing is how they got those. It's good, don't get me wrong. And if you're going to do the same one, it's a Victor, is the name of the actual manufacturer. Sunsuni, or I'll put it somewhere. It's not the people I bought it from, believe it or not. The people I bought it from, I guess, were only the manufacturers of it. It's not the name brand. But that is kind of like a weak link right there. How they go in is you just got to put a little solder on the end of the cable and then hammer it flat, and then it'll hold just fine. Otherwise, it won't. I mean, that's the only way I could get it to work. But it worked perfect. I mean, and then I just put heat shrink on the end of the tube to make it look right, you know. And I need to shorten down the high voltage DC coming in. But when it came on, and it was perfect. I always get these dumb switches backwards. This O and on. I don't know why, but I guess I'm dyslexic, like to the core, and I can never understand that switch. I just need on and off or whatever, you know, like, you know, safe or die or whatever, but that I don't understand. The little reset button over here was only supposed to be for the incoming, but I mean, I jiggled it a little bit. What it was is the inverter wouldn't come on in the beginning. And I think it was this switch over here that I was having a problem with, and I just happened to touch this, like, whatever. But it's on now. It's not, like, off or whatever. This switch was the one that was controlling it. Like I said, I think that's what it was. But it just, whatever you want to call it, like, coincidence. Yeah, coincidence. I hate that word. I don't believe in coincidence at all. So I believe everything happens for a reason is what I'm trying to get at. When I bumped that, it just happened to the inverter come on at the same time. But I was messing with this switch is what I was trying to mean. Otherwise, I just hokied this up. I just wanted to make sure it was going to work before I got all vested in getting it up there. You had to set quite a bit of stuff, like you set the hertz from 50 to 60. The default was 50. And I was thinking maybe that was why the inverter wouldn't come on. But honestly, I think it was this switch over here, and I just had it wrong. I just had it off. Even though you can program it off, it'll charge off. It'll do everything it's supposed to do, even while the switch is off over here, as long as there's power coming into it. But here, I'll show you what happens, is what I'm trying to get at. Let's shut the house down. Chunk. That's like the entire house right there, the whole load. And then we'll turn this off. And that's just the sound it makes when it powers down. And but now that's in the complete off mode is what I'm saying. Now if you notice the house is dark, everything is shut down. I don't know if you paid attention to the deal. But that's the voltage coming in from the PV. That's the voltage going into the battery bank. And that's the indicator that says the charge thing is still working, is what I'm trying to get at. So now we're going to turn it back on. It's going to start up. We drew down for the minute. Okay, it's going to turn on in a minute. It says it does. Or it did last time, I should say. I got faith, kind of. There it goes. Now she's on. That's what it wasn't doing before. And now we're going to throw the load. That cranked up the freezer for the minute. That's everything starting at once, y'all. Here we go. And it automatically uses the voltage to offset some of the... It's pretty intricate when it comes to programming this. The guy I was listening to, he was not wrong. This is... kind of like more intricate than it needs to be. There it goes. It just flicked. And y'all can see the light behind me or up above me. Didn't even make the lights flick, nothing. This is really nice. It's really inexpensive. I wouldn't even call this cheap. This is well quality. It's good, heavy. You know, the heft of it's probably, I don't know, 20 kilograms, 40 pounds, somewhere in that range. It's not bad at all, y'all. It's not like some of them that are just like this. That one right here is like really light. And it had issues from the beginning, and I knew what I bought, so. And I don't want to knock on Harbor Freight. They got good stuff. And but would I buy it again? I would never have 2,000 watt worth of TVs and stuff to run, and that's really what it does. It doesn't run anything else other than that. This one here is like that one over there. It's a low end, made for appliances and stuff like that, and does it really, really well. That's what I'm liking. And but I do got to set. There's a way to adjust these the parameters or whatever, because it should be reading some wattage even though it's LED. But there should be a little bit of wattage used, and it's not showing any. That's the only drawback. But that's all I have on, other than the freezer, and the freezer just kicked off, is what I'm trying to get at. So without it being on, it don't even like register. But okay, I just wanted to show you that, and I'm not as scared of these as I was. Knowing now who makes it feel better, is what I'm trying to get at. And so if you do happen to buy one of these, is Cesian, I can't pronounce that exactly, but the people I bought it from, it's manufactured for Victor, and then Sun Si Chi or something, Sun Sisu or something like that, is another one, that same exact one. So you can find the information on the internet. You can download the PDF. The little book is not like a super attention grabber, but if you go through it, you'll program it. I mean, I'm not like a genius or nothing. So, I mean, it's doable is what I'm trying to get at. Well, I hope you enjoy y'all's. As I'm enjoying mine, it's making power, and I'm tickled. I'll get the rest of it switched over. This line coming in is quite a bit more. This will be able to handle it. The old one couldn't. That's why it's kind of halfway hokey like it is. But I didn't want to go through all of the issue of pulling this down. Pulling this down and getting this up and then it not working, because it didn't for like, well, it charged, but it wouldn't make any power for a while. Until, like I said, I think it was this switch that I bumped them both at the same time. And but yeah, boy, you feel goofy, and I mean, it makes you feel a little slow, but yeah, it happens, I guess, just the way it is. But it's working now perfectly. You can set like I said, you can set the hertz from 50 to 60. You can set the voltage from, I believe, 105. That would be like Mexico or Canada or something like that. 110, 115, or 120. I just set it for 115 because that's the freezer needs that. And I'll look at the wash machine, and if it's 120, I'll bump it up, is what I'm saying. It don't hurt it to go up a little higher. And again, it's just flawless. I mean, I'm loving it, is what I'm trying to get at. I'm just loving it. I've had a lot more issue with this little joker than I have with this one, and this one's supposed to be like way wickedly more complicated, and it is. This one here, the basic in and out on it, the little programming interface, it's so basic, it's kind of stupid. I mean, it's kind of slow, is what I'm trying to get at. And even with an instruction book, it's kind of hard. Like, it'll have a couple flashing buttons on there, and if it beats fast, it does one thing. If it beats slow, it does another thing. If it beats in between, it's another thing. If it beats, fast and then slow and then in between, it's another thing. It's like, Jesus Christ, I mean, $5 extra, you could have put a real bias on this thing and made it a wonderful device. instead of saving $5 and making it too hard, overly complicated. And what it is, it's supposed to go from 12, 24 to 48, 36 to 48, and you can't work through the bias to make it change. That is the issue with this one. Unlike this one, you can set that's the same as this one up here. You can fully program these two. And I guess the guy that I was talking to, he never had one like this, because that's far more complicated than this one is. That's actually easy compared to this one. Or, I mean, this is actually easy compared to that one. And this even does more. So, yeah, I'm tickled with this. It works. It's not the hassle that they were saying. But I went through the manual, like I said, and I programmed it to start appliances, because you can choose what you want. It can do almost anything that you ask it to do. You can set battery voltages, float voltages, equalization, time frames, what time schedule, and everything. It's really, I can see where he got daunted. Okay, I'm not knocking that. But it's not as complicated as that joker, just telling you. And that's a midnight right there. It's not that complicated. But that one didn't come with an instruction manual. This one did. That's the difference. That one you just got to look online, which is good. I mean, but it is kind of a hassle. You can't like sit in bed and read it. Well, I guess you could if you had a PDF. I didn't. I just programmed it on the fly. But that one did work out well, and I love it. That's my workhorse of a charge controller. They're about $700 and well worth every frickin' penny. And I don't like spending money, y'all, but that is definitely well worth its money. This one here is only $300. It's super cheap. My friend, I was talking to him on the phone this morning. He goes, "How much is that?" I said, "I don't even want to tell you until I know it works." He said, "Fair enough." $300. It seems to be doing really good. As long as it starts and stops this freezer without even blinking the lights, I'm thrilled with this joker. This one here, it would like interrupt, fail, and have to restart, and the whole house would shut down and come back on. And it was quite the thing. It had nothing to do with the batteries. It was just the inverter. It's a high frequency inverter, and it was trying to start a low frequency load, and it really does struggle. It requires almost a horsepower to start this refrigerator, is what it is. They're the freezer. So it's kind of on the freezer is what I'm trying to say. It doesn't use that much power to run, but it does use quite a bit of power to start. And, I hope y'all are as happy about this as I am, because I'm tickled ecstatic. This really does make a pretty good thing. Y'all not seeing it like I am. This is actually purple. Well, maybe you can see it on the reflection of my hand. It's purple. But it looks white in the camera is what I'm trying to say. And when the sun goes down, that'll go to red, which kind of threw me for a minute because I was starting this in the morning in the dark. So when it was red and it only was working on batteries, it was doing right. But I didn't have all the instructions is what I'm trying to get at. This is not like all of it. You can get more if you get online for them other companies is what I'm trying to say. And then it'll tell you about this light. This manual doesn't even show this face of the inverter. It's made for the guts of the inverter, but it's not made for this interface, is what it is. That's the deal. And that's probably why you're getting it for $300 instead of $1,000 or whatever. But like I said, am I afraid of it? No. I just read the book. Looked online. When I couldn't find the answers in the book, I looked online, and when I couldn't find, I kept searching, and then I found how many people actually market this same one, and then I found all the answers that I needed. Like I said, it's there. You just got to dig a little bit. It'd be hard to do in Alaska. If you're off grid or offline up there and you're doing everything, this would probably be not your best one. But if you're anywhere that you can get any form of cell service, internet off your cell, great. It worked out perfect for me. For $305, that's cheap. That's less than what I paid for this one. That was like right at $300, and it won't start the freezer, is what I'm trying to get at. Not a bad option for $300. Would I buy another one? Probably. I went back online to look if I could find any hints about the inverter there, and they said there wasn't another one available. So maybe whoever I bought it from didn't have any more. So, but if they do, I would suggest it. Is what I'm saying. If you don't mind tinkering a little bit, I mean, if you're not into the tinker, probably not. I mean, like my buddy back home, would I suggest it for him? If I set it up, yeah. If I wasn't there to set it up, no. I mean, even though his daughter is like sharp, I mean, his daughter's like sharp. No, I wouldn't. It takes more than that, is what I'm trying to get at. But as long as you're willing to like put forth the effort and read, you're great. But I'm just saying, from what he said, is she's probably not the best reader. Not that she's slow. I mean, just not the way she goes after shit is what I'm trying to get at. She's more direct, and you can't be. You got to really go out of your way. That's something I got to admit on this. In the beginning, it was a little daunting. I mean, my buddy can probably chime in and say, yeah, he was a little bit stoked this morning. But I'm okay now. I'm good. As soon as I saw that inverter light come on, that's all I was waiting for. That little green house light over here. But yeah, that's all I was looking for. But yeah, it runs it all flawlessly. That is so nice. And from full off to full on, and the lights don't even blink. So, okay, that's my review. Not much of one, I know, y'all. But hey, if you're looking for one of these all-in-ones, I was kind of skeptical how they operated. I'm not anymore. I'm happy with it. Yeah, not bad. Okay, talk to you then.